Video shows Ukraine wipe out Russian armored vehicles. A video released by the Ukrainian military purportedly shows a tank toasting a column of Russian armored vehicles in the embattled region of Donetsk. Ukraine's Ministry of Defense shared the video on Twitter on Thursday. The 27-second clip shows the tank firing on an approaching Russian convoy, with the vehicles being turned into fiery infernos one by one. A video shared by the ministry earlier in the day, also featuring the handiwork of Ukraine's 53rd Mechanized Brigade, appeared to show several Russian tanks being destroyed in Donetsk. Ukraine called the Russian offensive in the region a suicidal plan. Despite Russian President Vladimir Putin claiming to have annexed Donetsk and 3 other Ukrainian regions last year, bloody battles for control of the area continue more than a year after the war began. Britain's Ministry of Defense predicted that warfare in the area was likely to become more difficult soon due to warmer weather conditions, creating mud that would limit cross-country movement. This will add further friction to ground operations and hamper the off-road movement of heavier armored vehicles, especially over churned-up ground in the Bakhmut sector. Recently, Russia close to encircling Ukraine's Bakhmut after months of fighting. Russian artillery pounded the last routes out of Bakhmut on Friday, aiming to complete the encirclement of the besieged Ukrainian city and bring Moscow closer to its first major victory in half a year after the bloodiest battle of the war. The head of Russia's Wagner private army said the city, which has been blasted to ruins in Russia's more than 7-month onslaught, was almost completely surrounded with only one road still open for Ukraine's troops. Reuters observed intense Russian shelling of routes leading west out of Bakhmut, an apparent attempt to block Ukrainian forces' access in and out of the city. A bridge in the adjacent town of Kromove was damaged by Russian tank shelling. Ukrainian soldiers were working to repair damaged roads, and more troops were heading toward the front line in a sign that Ukraine was not yet ready to give up the city. To the west, Ukrainians were digging new trenches for defensive positions. The commander of Ukraine's ground forces, Alexander Syrsky, visited Bakhmut on Friday for briefings with local commanders on how to boost the defense capacity of frontline forces. A Russian victory in Bakhmut, with a pre-war population of about 70,000, would give it the first major prize in a costly winter offensive, after it called up hundreds of thousands of reservists last year. Russia says it would be a stepping stone to completing the capture of the Donbas industrial region, one of Moscow's most important objectives. Units of the private military company Wagner have practically surrounded Bakhmut. Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin said in a video that Reuters determined was filmed on a rooftop in a village some 7 kilometers or 4 miles north of the city center. He called on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to order a retreat from Bakhmut to save his soldiers' lives. Robert Brovdy, the commander of a Ukrainian drone unit active in Bakhmut, who goes by the name Madyar, said in a video posted on social media that his unit had been ordered to withdraw immediately. He said he had been fighting there for 110 days. The Institute for the Study of War, ISW, a think tank based in Washington, said in its latest assessment of the conflict that Russian forces conducted ground attacks around Bakhmut on Wednesday. The ISW noted that Ukrainian officials continue to emphasize that Ukrainian troops have the option to conduct a controlled withdrawal from Bakhmut if they see fit. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has vowed to protect Bakhmut, saying it's important to hold on to the city, but not at any cost.
Одну міну, вогонь! Міна! Основний вогонь! Міна!